We're on lesson 1 of chapter 1, which is order of operations. First, we're going to use the order of operations. Then we're going to use the order of operations with grouping symbols. Then we're going to solve a real-world problem. So what do we mean when we say order of operations? Well, operations is just a fancy word for doing math. And when we do math, there's a specific order that we follow as we do these problems. Let me give you an example to start. Let's say that Terry purchases 3 books for $5 each, which is shown by this here, 3 times 5. And Brandon purchases 4 books for $6 each. How much money did they spend all together? What a lot of people do when they do this math problem, they just go all the way from the left to the right. So they would do 3 times 5, which is 15. Then they would add 4 to that, which would be 19. And then multiply times 6, which gives you about $114. Terry and Brandon did not spend $114, otherwise they would have stayed at home. What we need to do instead then is to follow the order of operations, the order of doing math. And as you probably figured, the order is listed over here on the right. It follows this acronym, PEMDAS. If you say it a bunch of times in your head, you might remember it. And here's what that means. It means that parentheses or whatever's inside of parentheses go first in a math problem, followed by exponents, followed by multiplying and dividing. These go together, and followed by adding and subtracting. Those also go together if you notice they're the same color. And what that means is they're interchangeable. Sometimes dividing will go in front of multiplying, sometimes subtracting will go in front of adding. It's all about which one's furthest to the left. So in this instance, we have a multiplying, an adding, and a multiplying. So which ones go first? Well, we don't have any parentheses, and we don't have any exponents or powers. So then multiplying and dividing would happen next, and we have multiplying. So that means when we do the 3 times 5, just like we normally would, and get 15, we don't add that 4 yet, because there's still multiplying to do. We have to finish all the multiplying before we can go to adding. So 4 times 6 would be 24. Now we can do our adding. We have $15 that Terry spent, $24 that Brandon spent. We add those together, they spent $39. So unless you follow the proper order, as spelled out here, you're going to be getting these answers wrong. So let's see if we can do this here. It says simplify each expression using the correct order of operations. We have 3 plus 15 divided by 5. So our two operations are adding and dividing. Adding is here, dividing is ahead of adding. So that means 15 divided by 5 has to happen first. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we can drag this 3 down here. We have 3 plus now 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. So we divided first, then we added. Now we have a bunch of different operations. We have subtracting, dividing, multiplying, and adding. If you remember from last slide, multiplying and dividing are interchangeable, whichever one is furthest to the left. I see a dividing and a multiplying, where the dividing is further over to the left. And for these long ones, so you don't get lost, usually you want to do one step at a time and then write everything out again, just so you don't get stuck. So we have 14 divided by 2 that we're doing first because it's dividing, so that gives us 7. So I'm going to rewrite this problem. 44 minus 14 divided by 2, which we just solved. Now we have times 4 plus 6. So we have subtracting, multiplying, and adding. So the multiplying would go first now. 7 times 4 is 28. So now we have 44, bring that down again, minus 28 plus 6. So you'll notice we have adding and subtracting left. 44 minus 28 plus 6. Since adding and subtracting are interchangeable, that means subtracting is going to go first because it's further to the left. So 44 minus 28 is 16. And now we just have 16 plus 6, which is going to equal 22. For this one, we have 3 plus 2 to the third power times 5. So this is an exponent, which puts it right up to near the top of the order, which means in this problem it's going to go first. 2 to the third power means 2 times itself 3 times, which would be 2 times 2 times 2, 3 times. So that would be 3 plus 2 times 2 times 2, which equals 8, times 5. Now we have adding and multiplying, so multiplying is going to go first. 8 times 5 is 40. So we're left with 3 plus 40, which gives us 43. Now we get to use grouping symbols, which are usually parentheses or sometimes brackets, which are another form of parentheses. But first, let's just focus on this one. 36 minus parentheses 2 times 6 divided by 3. So in this case, parentheses goes first. 2 times 6 is 12. And once you finish everything inside the parentheses now go away. So we have 36 minus the 12 from the parentheses divided by 3. We have subtracting and division. So division will go first. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 36 minus 4, which gives us an answer of 32. So here's the brackets I was talking about. We have a bracket and parentheses. So you'll notice this is inside the parentheses. Everything except for this exponent is inside the bracket. So the first thing we're going to do is these parentheses inside the bracket. Then we're going to finish the bracket, and then we'll do everything on the outside. So we have 4 plus 12 divided by 4. So inside the parentheses, this 12 divided by 4 needs to go first. So that's going to give us 3. So we're left with 4 plus 3 inside the parentheses, and then we have a bracket minus 2 on the outside. And that's all to the third power. Let's finish the parentheses then. 4 plus 3 is 7. So now that we've finished it, the parentheses go away. Minus 2. We still have the bracket here, and that's to the third power. So normally exponents would go first, but you notice the exponent is on the outside of the bracket. So we're going to do the subtracting first to finish the bracket, then we'll do the exponent. 7 minus 2 is 5. So we have 5 to the third power, because the brackets now go away. 5 to the third power is 5 times itself 3 times, so 5 times 5 times 5, which equals 125. Now we can solve a real-world problem. It says Maria works part-time in a law office, where she earns $20 per hour. The table shows the number of hours she worked last week. Simplify the expression 6 plus 5 times 3 times 20 to find out how much money Maria earned last week. So why does this expression match this? Well, she worked 6 hours on Monday, and then worked 5 hours the rest of the week, so 5 times 3. And then for all the amount of hours she worked, she gets $20 for every hour. So if we follow order of operations here, we have adding and multiplying. So we would multiply first. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus the 6 now. Remember that stays in parentheses till we're done. Times 20. So then we're going to finish this first. 6 plus 15 is 21. Now it's going to be times 20. The parentheses go away. 21 times 20 is 420. So that's how much money Maria earned last week.